The Phoenix Suns are once again dominating the NBA as they have just extended their win streak to 7 straight games with the help of Devin Booker and Chris Paul over the Utah Jazz last night. They are now the only team left in the NBA with single-digit losses, and there are so many positives to take away from this team going forward that make them look like they are going to have a great chance at attempting for revenge over their brutal finals loss last season against the Bucks. The Suns are starting to catch fire over this stretch with many key pieces on this team stepping up to win games, while key roster spots have emptied with some guys out with injuries. The team is currently missing their anchor at the center position who completes the trio of him, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker, as Ayton has been sidelined with a sprained ankle over the past couple of games. On top of this, key rotational players in Cameron Payne and Frank Kaminsky have been out as well with no clear indication of when they're going to return. This has left the door wide open for Booker and Paul to step up their games to that next level in order to come out with wins, and that is exactly what the duo has done. Over their last 7, Booker has been playing the best basketball of this season as he has been averaging 28.7 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 4 assists, over a steal per game while shooting 43%, but that's only because he has needed to take over 24 shots a game to carry the load offensively over this stretch. Chris Paul, on the other hand, has been playing lights out over his last 7 games as he has been the much needed leader on this team to carry out wins while averaging 16.7 points per game, 11.4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2.4 steals a game while shooting 56% from the field. This is all matched with a team leading plus minus of plus 94 over that stretch, where the next closest player on this team is Mikal Bridges with plus 58 over that span. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. It is crystal clear that when Chris Paul is on the floor, he plays such an important role in leading this team to wins, and he has shown this time and time again in different positions, different roles, different teams. Frankly, it doesn't matter where Chris Paul is. He knows how to get the job done and come out with wins, as he has shown us this over the past decade and then some, while he is 7th in the entire NBA in plus minus this season. I'm honestly surprised that Chris Paul isn't talked about more in the MVP conversation this year, since he is the leader of currently the best team in the NBA. And yes, I know the NBA is a statistics-driven league nowadays, but the storyline that he currently holds of being a proven winner is something not a single person should take lightly. Chris Paul's stats don't jump out at you as anything insane on an MVP type level, yet they are eerily similar to those of when Steve Nash won his first ever MVP with the Phoenix Suns. Similarly, Steve Nash in that 2005 season led the Suns to have the best record in the NBA as well with 62 wins, which is actually the exact current trajectory that the Suns are at to finish the season with, surprisingly enough. I'm not saying that he should be the frontrunner to win the award simply because of how good the other candidates have been, yet I still believe he definitely deserves his respect to be considered amongst the top guys in the league for his contributions to this Suns team. What CP3 has been able to do so late into his career should be talked about on a somewhat similar magnitude as LeBron in the sense of his rank with the all-time point guards in the NBA. He is a proven winner as he's shown that he could make teams like the Thunder, Clippers, and Rockets into contending teams, where now 2 of those 3 are scraping the bottom of the barrel after his departure, and simply just his production of how much he's been able to elevate this Suns team is a fair indication as well. What would be incredible to see would be for him to finally get his first ever championship this season, as this Suns team can very well make a run in the playoffs, and this would finally put an end to the criticism Paul receives in that department, as I truly believe that he needs to be talked about amongst the best playmakers to ever pick up a basketball. Moving on to the rest of the guys on this team, with Ayton being out and also being an incredibly large part of this team's success, he has very large shoes to fill, and let's just say the Suns just got a gift wrap present in Bismack Biyombo. Bismack had signed a 10-day hardship deal in response to the COVID issues that the team had been facing back in December, and ever since then he had been taking the utmost advantage of his role coming off the bench on this team, to the point where he has now been officially signed for the rest of the season, and he honestly makes the Suns team look absolutely deadly coming off the bench, especially when Ayton is going to return. During the 9 games we saw out of him this season, it honestly reminded me of when he was playing his best basketball in Toronto, that once saw him grab 26 rebounds in a playoff game against the Cavs, as that guy that can be a spark coming off the bench, get you consistent double-doubles while also locking down the paint. He's had 3 games where he played less than 15 minutes for this team, but in the other 6, he failed to score more than 10 points just one time, grabbed 3 double-doubles, and just overall looked to be an incredibly solid pickup that can be an extremely solid rebounder and rim protector, especially since he'll only be coming off the bench. And I think what's most impressive out of any of his statistics is the fact that in just 9 games, Biyombo is plus 83 in point differential while he's only playing 21 minutes a game. What started as a guy to fill in for missing players turned into a weapon that is going to help out this team in the playoffs, as this pickup made this team just that much deeper than they already are. The team is also riding with Mikal Bridges, who has been one of the forefronts as to why this team has the 2nd best defensive rating in the entire NBA. He is an absolutely smothering defender who can guard the opposing team's best player, which is going to be crucial once again in the playoffs. That is going to allow for the other players on this team to put more of an emphasis on the offensive side of the ball. As Bridges is somewhat inconsistent on offense, this makes for an almost picture-perfect scenario for the team having guys like Booker, Paul, and Ayton, as they can most definitely pick up the slack for Bridges to allow each of them to focus on what they do best, which is the recipe for their success. Not to mention, if Bridges begins to pick up his offensive ability, that will make this team just that much harder to stop. The Phoenix Suns then have multiple fantastic players they can also play around with, as Crowder is an incredibly solid veteran starter that helps out this team by doing all of the little things efficiently. He's a strong defender, but most importantly, he helps out Chris Paul in mentoring the younger guys to bring everything together to pull away with wins. Cameron Johnson is able to come into games and just simply light up the 3-ball off the bench while being another starting option at the forward position, both defensively and with his rebounding. To finish it off, Cameron Payne, JaVale McGee, and Landry Shamet round out the second unit, who will all be contributing significant minutes when the team is at 100% and in the playoffs coming off the bench, as they have all proved themselves on this team that they can contribute while starters are either out or just in need of a rest. The second unit on this team ranks among some of the best in the NBA, and it allows for this team to have very few holes that teams can exploit, which is how they are one of the best teams in the NBA. At 100%, there is no question that this team is top 5 both offensively and defensively, and certainly look like they should be the favorites to come out of the West this season, especially with how well they've been able to play as of late. This Suns team does a great job of taking care of business without really gaining much attention with controversial headlines across the NBA, which has made them incredibly slept on when talking about them as a contender, but that obviously is a fantastic thing for them, as they will surprise many once again this season in the playoffs and have a serious shot at winning it all this year. On top of the chances that they possess, it would also be awesome to just watch some of the storylines play out for these guys and this franchise, where Chris Paul could get his first NBA championship. This could also be the start to an incredible legacy that Devin Booker is working towards, and the headlines just keep going on and on. This team is starving for one thing only, and that is to win an NBA championship that they were stripped away from last year, and they will stop at nothing to achieve that goal for them this season. As that begins to wrap things up for this video, be sure to comment down below your thoughts on this Phoenix Suns team. And if you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, as it helps this video get shared along YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I'll be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.